What's up and welcome to What's in the Pot. I'm your host Sean Grande and today we are cooking fried shrimp wontons. So here are ingredients what we're going to use to make our shrimp wontons. The first thing we have is about 1.5 teaspoons of grated ginger. Then we have some shadow Beni, some fresh shadow Beni bandana, just a bit just to add some flavor. A teaspoon of pepper sauce, that you can use any kind of pepper sauce you want. Some green onions, some chili oil, sesame oil, some garlic powder, some soya sauce. Then we got some black pepper, salt, shrimp, and of course wonton wrappers. So the next thing we're gonna do is these shrimp's already been deveined and washed in a little bit of lemon juice. So what we're gonna do is peel off the shrimp like that, just peel off the back, and some people just tug off the tail, but there's a little bit of meat left, so you just want to add that little bit extra meat. So you just kind of tug it a little bit. Once you tug it a little bit, squeeze, and it comes off. There you go, just plain and simple. So I'm gonna peel the rest of this shrimp off, and then we're gonna go ahead and mince them up afterwards. So I have all my shrimp already cleaned and I just rinsed it back out after taking off the shells. I'm gonna start chopping it up and just do small little chunks. Just chop it up really fine. Just make sure you don't cut yourself. And once you chop it up, you just want to chop it up one more time. We're almost kind of mincing the shrimp, but we're not mincing it where it's all mushy. We just want a little bit of chunks, so when we put them in the wonton wrapper, it's nice little chunks of shrimp that you're getting. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish chop up the rest of this shrimp, and then I'll show you how I season it. So once we have our minced shrimp, we're gonna start adding our ingredients into the bowl. So the first thing we're gonna add is our bandana, our shadow Beni, our culantro, just some fresh culantro that I put aside when I usually buy my green seasoning to make my green seasoning. I put some aside for ingredients. There goes the ginger, it's about 1 teaspoon and a bit. And make sure you get all that juice from the ginger once you've ground it up. There's about 1 teaspoon pepper sauce, and homemade, you can use any kind you need. Or any kind you like it hotter, add some hotter pepper sauce. Then we're gonna add our green onions. Once we've added our green onions, the next thing we're gonna add is some salt. Now the salt, you want to use salt for moderation. You don't want to use a lot, you don't want to use too little, so use your discretion. I use a couple shakes, it's just to add a little bit extra flavor. Same thing with the black pepper. I'm just gonna turn it a few times and get some black pepper in there. Sometimes, you may have people that don't like too much of that black pepper taste, so it's really up to you when you're cooking on how much you want to put with the seasonings. The next thing we're going to do is add a little bit of not sweet chili oil, but a little bit of the chili oil. Now the chili oil, I add about 1 teaspoon. It gives it that nice chili flavor. Now the sesame oil, I add about 1 teaspoon and a bit, because that sesame oil flavor is really nice. It gives the shrimp a really nice flavor, especially once you fry it. And for the soya sauce, you can use light, dark, any kind you choose. I use about 1 teaspoon of soya sauce, and we just put it in there and mix it in. Now we're also going to use some soya sauce when we make our sauce, which is pretty much just ketchup and soya sauce. For this, I'm using garlic powder. It's granulated garlic, not garlic salt. If you are using garlic salt, then you don't need to put regular salt, because then it's going to be too salty. Once we have all our ingredients, we're just going to mix it up and let it sit about 5-10 minutes. Hey, if you have time and you want to make this for tomorrow or later on in the evening, then let it sit in the fridge. But we just want to let it sit for a little bit so all the flavors kind of just soak into the shrimp. So when we fry it, we're getting all that flavor from all the seasoning into the shrimp. So now we're going to start assembling the shrimp. So now you see the seasoned shrimp, it's been sitting there for about 10 minutes. And we're going to start putting the shrimp in the wontons. So you can buy any wontons. These I bought at the grocery store in the freezer section. They're about $2 for a pack. The first thing you want to do is put the wonton on the plate. And you can see there, you want to put the shrimp directly in the middle, and you want to put some water on 2 corners. Just on 2 corners, not on all 4. Once you put it on 2 corners, it's going to create a seal. So we take a little bit of shrimp, not a whole lot. Just put a little bit of shrimp inside the wonton, and we're going to fold it in half. And essentially where you wet, it's the 2 corners, and you just squeeze out all the air. Try to squeeze out as much air as possible. Once you squeeze out all the air, fold it in half, put a little bit of water on one end, and just twist it. Essentially, this is the way I fold my wontons. A lot of people fold wontons very differently. For me, this is the easiest way I do it, and it's straightforward and pretty simple. So there we have it. The wontons are wrapped, and now I have my oil set to, or the pot set to medium. Essentially what we want to do is let the oil get pretty hot, maybe around 350 degrees, and you just want to put the wontons in like that. Once you put it in and you start seeing it bubbling, that means you're getting a good fry, and you're only going to need to fry these wontons for about a minute or two on each side, probably about a minute on each side. Once you see this corner start curling up, that means they're getting really crispy, and you just got to flip them, because remember, the shrimp is pretty much gonna cook, because it's minced up, it's gonna cook within seconds. So once you start putting them, turn them in the pot, check them. I've noticed like these are kind of curling a bit, so I'm gonna start trying to flip them. And you don't want to put too many shrimp in the pot at the same time, because you don't want it jumbled. You want each one to fry equally. So we're gonna turn that one right there, and once we turn them, essentially we're just going to keep on frying them in small batches. You don't want to over fry it. If you have a deep fryer, even better, but if you're using a pot, then you can just go ahead and fry it. Now this one doesn't want to flip, but you can see the golden color right there on the shrimp itself, or on the wontons. Essentially that's what we want to get. We want to fry them and get that nice golden color. We don't want to let them over fry. Some people like it a little bit burnt or a little bit extra crispy. Not me. I like that light golden color, as you can see there, and we just want to strain out all the oil, and hopefully you can see a little bit better there, where you get that nice golden color. And you just put in a bowl with some paper towel, some parchment paper, just soak up that extra oil that's coming out of there. So I'm just going to continue frying this bunch, and there you have it, that's shrimp wontons. So there you have it, perfectly crispy fried shrimp wontons. Some edges are a little bit crispier than others, but it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I added some green onions on the top for a little bit of garnish. When you're serving it, don't forget to serve it with some ketchup, some soy sauce, or even some sweet chili sauce. Works really well with the wontons. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. If you notice this audio seems kind of off, it's because the last video, the audio didn't record, so I'm just doing a voiceover right now. So thank you for tuning in. It's What's in the Pot. I'm your host, Sean Grande, and don't forget to subscribe and share.